I walk into the park, all right? I want to find God, all right? I go up to
and this is the same person who was sending dick pictures to fellow Muslim women.
You're never going to get what you want in your da'wah.
Is that how you do da'wah?
Meetings in the shop.
Is that how you do da'wah? Let's get Saracen next week.
Keep him here.
My friend, would you send pictures of your private parts to fellow Muslim women?
You're made from that. You're made from this semen. It's not impure. It's not impure.
Would you go
yes,
to the
I would. Yes, I would. If the Prophet did that.
So you come to the park with semen on your...
I would. I would. I don't think it's impure.
Astaghfirullah.
1 Samuel 15:9. Go smite the Amalekites wherever you find them. Spare not man.
Now, do you have a problem with that?
Infant. Do you?
I'm asking you.
I do. Do you?
Okay, now.
Please don't try the
listen
funny
to what
business
I'm
of
saying
Christianity
to you.
with me. Don't do that. Take that back. Otherwise I'll floor you now.
Mr.
Now.
Why do you always slander people? Just because they heckle you. Like I'm doing right now.
We continue.
Last time you called us extremists.
Extremist 1, extremist 2. Or
but you are right. I am an extremist heckler.
You are an extremist heckler. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. My two favourite hecklers in the park.
You were so excited when you saw Paul.
Paul, I don't need to get excited.
Got excited.
Why don't you come on camera? Why don't you come on camera? Why don't you both come on camera? Why don't you both come on? If you are brave, stand in the spotlight. Come on, if you are brave, stand. Come on, stand in the spotlight. Come on. These people may be the next Abu Qasims. The next Abu Qasim. You see, what is these two people said they wouldn't condemn Abu Qasim. Last week he got 5 years. 5 years. Answer this question. Has Bob been sentenced to 5 years in prison for promoting terrorism? Has Bob been sentenced to prison? Has Bob been convicted? Do you agree? Do you agree with Abu Qasim? Do you agree with Abu Qasim? 5 years. Do you remember? They said they do not condemn Abu Qasim, and he was given 5 years last week. You said it's not true. We'll put the video in because it's on COE. Now they're denying it. Their very own words. They're ashamed. But they said they would not condemn Abu Qasim. So let me ask you, who's worse? Who's worse, Bob or Abu Qasim?
Europe is being terrorized by people.
So they condemn Bob, but they don't condemn a convicted terrorist. You see? They do not condemn a convicted terrorist. Was Abu Qasim your friend? Do you condemn Abu Qasim? Do you condemn Abu Qasim?
I don't know who you are talking about.
You don't know. Tweedledum is plain ignorant. Do you condemn Abu Qasim?
Do you condemn
Do you?
Do you condemn
For what? For what?
He incited violence using the
When?
Bible.
When? What did he say? What did he say? What did he say? What did he say?
Go to your phone right now.
You go to your phone and tell me. I know you can't. You can't read. Stop there. Tell us. If Bob is an extremist, tell us what he has incited.
Tell us. He incited and he celebrated the Andalusia attack as well.
What did he say?
Burnt people alive.
Yes.
He praised the people for the Muslims who had attacked the Christians.
No.
He praised the retaliation. Where's the evidence? Bring me the evidence of what Bob said. Bring the.
It is documented in history.
So do you accept what the Muslims in Andalusia did?
You have blood on your
Do you see, they can't say. Do you agree with what the Muslims did to the Christians in Andalusia? Do you agree with the massacre of Cordoba? Do you agree with the massacre of Cordoba? Can you answer? Do you agree with the massacre of Cordoba which happened in... Shall I read it for you? Shall I read it for you? Alright, I'm going to read to you what happened in Andalusia. I'm going to read to them the martyrs of Andalusia.
Of your women folk. 11:6 Corinthians. Please. answer the question. Why don't you shave Hatun's head? She doesn't cover her hair.
So,
6 orders you to cover.
the martyrs of Cordoba
Yes,
were
they say the hair
48
of
Christian
Hassan
martyrs who were executed under the rule of Muslim
Why
conquerors
does
in what is
Hassan
now
his
southern
hair?
Spain. At the
Why
time,
don't
the
you
area
shave
was known as
Hassan
Al
hair?
Andalusia. Do you agree with this? This is Wikipedia. Do you agree with it? Do you agree with it? Do you agree with it? Do you agree? You see? Do you agree with what they did? Do you agree? Do you agree? Do you agree? Do you agree? Do you agree with the? Do you agree?
The Bible
The
orders you.
martyrs of Cordoba.
Yes.
Do you agree?
Do you agree?
Do you agree? Do you agree? What did he say? What did he say?
Look,
Tell us what it is. All right.
listen properly. Listen properly.
White martyrs, which means to live in condemnation by the world, in objection to the world, in suffering from the world.
You said our speech
Of the cost.
glorifying murder of
When we
Muslims.
start to take our faith seriously again, then the world around us will take our faith seriously. There is a reason why in this country you can blaspheme the Christ, but you cannot blaspheme.
Hate preaching.
What is the hate?
glorifying Murder. Listen
What have you said that's
carefully.
hateful?
Your
All right. Okay.
He's reading the
Because
Bible.
your
Listen
big
to
mouth
me.
friend has started talking.
Reading the Bible.
No, just relax. Basically saying, yeah, he's reading out from the Bible,
Yeah.
inciting violence towards Muslims.
I'm trying to
and-
hear the part.
Okay, listen, he's saying the whole thing right now.
What random exposure?
Upon and to be oppressed. This is not what the Christian faith calls us to. We are called to live the lives of saints on earth.
So live the life of saints. Is that extremism?
Listen to the whole
Listen to the whole
context.
context.
Yeah, Paperboy. Listen to the
Don't
whole
be biased.
context.
Do not be biased. Listen to your colleague who's calling for murder
Yeah, Paperboy.
in streets of London. Because of this rhetoric, the mosque attack happened. Imam, the Muazzin got stabbed. Germany got shot up. People got shot up in the shisha cafe because of your rhetoric. You have
And
blood
New
on
Zealand
your
attack
hands.
too.
Blood and New Zealand attack.
In the guns on
You
New
see,
Zealand
your
attack.
big mouth friends are
They
talking
have and the-
because I can't hear.
You go to random exposure.
Why don't you tell your big mouth friends
He's not
to
my-
be quiet?
He's not my friend. He's just another humanitarian.
Another,
He's just another
a humanitarian.
Asking- Yes, we're all humanitarian. We came individually because
See,
we've seen your
your
attack
friend's Dean
on
has failed him.
our religion.
You wanted me to listen, and your
liar.
big mouth
Our
friend
religion.
is talking. How am I supposed to listen if Tweedledum is talking?
You heard the hatred clearly.
In the book of Romans, to submit themselves to civil authority. This is true. However, Christians will only submit to civil authority in those things that are godly. And therefore, when the state says to us, we should not do anything.
This is hate preacher, hate preacher.
I'm trying to hear where the hate is.
The biggest hate preacher in London, the biggest hate preacher in Britain, Bob the Builder, calling for blood
with them in their struggle.
in their struggle. You hear that?
We shouldn't stand with them in their struggle.
Such a liar.
So is that
Liar.
extremist?
No,
Listen to the whole context. Yeah, Paperboy.
Paperboy.
You want subtitles as well? Huh? You want subtitles as well?
Liar.
Go out, look out. He's quiet now. You see the shock in his
Look at the
face.
subtitle.
Look. See the face? Wow.
That's Shamsi. What do you like? So,
Shamsi called you out.
okay, wait.
Shamsi
So,
called you
now,
out.
tell me the
Shamsi
part.
also called you
Tell
out.
me the part. Tell me the part where
Listen, Shamsi
where
called you
Bob
out.
was
Listen to
inciting
Shamsi, yeah? He
extremism.
called you out
Paperboy's face.
because of Andalusia attack.
He realized his colleague Bob the Builder.
You celebrated
You haven't
this
shown-
attack.
you haven't
praised
shown me
those
anything.
attacks. You
Glorifying
praised
Christian
those
terrorism.
attacks on Andalusia.
His face, look at him. He's in
Bob
shock.
praised this and said, this is the
shock.
true Christians.
He's going
The
in
Christian
cardiac
way
arrest.
is to burn people in stakes.
Yes,
So
burn
The
people
Christian
on
way
stake.
is to accuse people of witchcraft and burn
Burn them
them.
on the stake.
On the stage.
The
That's what
Christian.
Bob said.
He's glorifying the Spanish
On the
Inquisition.
stake.
The Spanish Inquisition has been glorified.
Paperboy, what do you
He
say
wants it
about
to happen
that?
in
You
the
not brought me any evidence.
you
I'm
say
trying to
about that?
listen.
You saw it
Go
in
to
your
random
own
exposure
eyes.
and listen
You
to
heard it
yourself
in
with
your own
headphones.
ears. Please do not
Listen to yourself with headphones.
deny
man.
it. Your own
You-
friend said it with his own
What
mouth.
part from that you played me was extreme?
Listen, you know what?
You heard it all.
I didn't hear anything.
Block your ears with paper.
Paperboy.
With the paper
You see,
boy.
you didn't bring me anything. So shall we go to the words of your prophet? All right.
Diversion tactics.
Now you're gonna lie again.
Okay.
Explain to us about Andalusia.
Explain why your colleague has been
Now.
saying this
That's
stuff.
a lie.
Why? Tell us
Your
why.
prophet said, I have been
That's a lie.
commanded
That's a lie.
to fight the
Tell us
people
that's not true.
until they say La ilaha illallah.
not true, you're
If they
liar.
say it, then their blood and wealth are protected from me, except for a right that is due from it, and their reckoning will be with Allah.
In your heart.
Do you agree with that?
You are a hate
Why is your
preacher.
trousers ripped?
Why is your trousers
Why
ripped?
is your trousers
Now,
ripped?
your prophet said, the prophet said, I have been given 5 things which were not given to anyone else before me. Allah has made me victorious by awe of frightening my enemies for a distance of 1 month's journey. The earth has been made for me and my followers, a place of praying and something which is to perform. Therefore, anyone,
You're a liar.
do you agree with that?
Like him.
Your prophet can rule by terror.
Muslims who look like his mother, the Virgin Mary.
Ali came to some people of Al Azut who worship idols and burned them. I'm reading the words from your own Islamic hadith.
Am I lying here?
Let's see what again.
New Testament.
Your prophet said, I have been commanded to fight the people until they say La ilaha illallah. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that? Huh? Do you agree with the words of your prophet? That is inciting terrorism. The Quran says you should go and engage in jihad. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with your Quran? Surah 9, 929. Kill the disbelievers wherever you find them.
Listen, I'm gonna make an announcement.
Why are you wearing pink shoes?
Yo, chew. 1 minute, yo, 1 minute, yeah, chew, yeah. 1 minute, yeah. Okay, do you agree now to debate with this humanitarian?
Humanitarian.
Yes.
Is he a humanitarian?
1 minute each.
He's a liar.
1 minute each, yes? You 1 minute, he takes another minute, okay? So
Okay.
we have the humanitarian asking you his concern, okay?
Yes.
With Bob and your team, DCCI. Now he's going to forward this question to you right now. And
I'm
then
not
you're
in
gonna have another
DCCI.
minute to answer.
You are
Okay,
part
go
of
ahead.
DCCI. Why
You
lying?
are a member of DCCI. You are a member of the DCCI. Hate preaching society against the Muslims. Now, why can't you answer the question? Your friend Bob the Builder has been spewing hatred in his.
You have not given me any evidence. I listened to the
He
video.
wants to reinstate the Spanish Inquisition
Yes, the
in this
mic, man.
time now,
Give the mic.
2020.
Yo, give me
He
the
wants to
mic.
put Muslims and Jews on the stake and burn them. That's what they
Give me
done
the
in
statement
Spain.
where he said that.
Check it on random exposure.
Give
We
me.
showed you the thing.
I was
The look in
listening
your face, you
and
were shocked, you were panicking. Anyways, I got a question for you. The Bible, the New Testament says in Corinthians 11:6, shave the hair of the women who are not covered. So when are you going to shave Hatun and Liz's hair? That is the one question.
will you tell me about the verse of breastfeeding
Listen,
that was
okay,
in the
answer my
Quran?
question
Why do
first.
you wear a pink shoe?
And why are you wearing pink shoes and blue jeans with ripped? Is Jesus
Okay,
gonna recognize
now
you
let's
when
ask
the second coming?
the Quran 9:111.
answer my
It says,
question.
indeed, Allah
You
has
did not
purchased
answer
from
my
the
question.
believers their lives
Corinthians
and their
11:6.
properties.
Yes.
For that they will have paradise.
Orders
They
Christians
fight
to shave
in
the
the
hair
cause
of
of
women who are
Allah.
not
So they
covered up.
killed
Orders
and they are
Christians do
killed.
it.
A true promise
So
upon
why
him
aren't you
in the
shaving
Torah
the
and the
hair
Gospels of the
Lizzie
Quran.
and Hatun?
Yes.
Your turn.
All right. Let me have my minute.
Let's see if you answer him or you just deflect to something else.
I asked him to give me the evidence of where Bob said these things
We showed you the
specifically.
video.
I listened to the video
Showed you random
and there was
exposure.
nothing according to your taqiyya. You are doing taqiyya. So if you're not Shia, why are you practicing taqiyya now? Because you were lying and you're making a fool out of yourself, making false claims against God. So now, answer my question.
New version of Taqiyya.
Fight those who do not believe in Allah or in the last day and who do not consider unlawful what Allah and His Messenger have made unlawful. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that statement?
Bring my enemies over here.
Do you agree with that statement?
Jihad, jihad, jihad from Jesus.
Do you agree
Come
with?
on.
Oh look, is that Muhammad Tawheed? Have you?
Someone who knows his business here.
Yeah, of course. I've seen the video of Saracen. Stop sending pictures to females. Stop sending pictures. Stop sending pictures to females.
You see the Christians that do
Stop
shahada?
sending.
Let's get to some
Is that how you got the females to do shahada?
15:9.
Huh?
Yeah?
Is that how you got the females?
Let's talk about 1 Samuel 15:9. Let's talk about how in the Bible it talks about killing man, woman, infant, suckling, donkey. Let's go again. Let's go again. Let's talk about your book.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Do you talk about
1
it?
Samuel 15:9.
All right. Now I'm going to tell him.
1 Samuel 15:9.
Yes. Now, according to his prophet,
Why
his
you
prophet,
going to my prophet?
because his prophet
That's not
said,
1 Samuel
when a
15:9.
Jew tells you
Go on,
something
1
of the
Samuel
Bible,
15:9.
do not deny it. Because if it is true, then you have committed an act of kufar.
Bring the tafsir of that.
I'm
Bring
gonna,
the tafsir.
because
Do
you're
you know
going
what
against
tafsir
the
is?
word of your prophet.
Do you know what
let
tafsir is?
me show you what your prophet said. Because your prophet. Let me bring.
Do you know what tafsir is?
I know what tafsir is.
What's
It's an
tafsir?
explanation of the Quran. It's an explanation from the scholar.
Say what?
It's an explanation
What's it
from a
called?
scholar.
What's it called?
It's an explanation
Of what?
from the scholar.
Of what?
Generally, it's the Quran.
Generous.
Yes.
What's it called?
Tafsir.
Tafsir.
Yes.
Well done.
Now
Bring
I'm
the
going
tafsir
to
from
bring
respected scholars.
I'm going to
Yeah?
bring a hadith from your prophet where he said, if a Jew
Bring the
tells you
tafsir,
something,
bring the tafsir that you said, because I was here in the background. Your diversion tactics.
Yes.
Your paid diversion tactics.
Paid.
'cause
So
your
you're paid.
Your meetings.
Go and
your
raise some more money for Uncle Jamal.
Your meetings
Yes.
that happen outside
Yes.
of the corner. Yeah.
So
in
he has
in
committed.
coffee
So let me
shops,
tell you, when
in coffee
Muslims
shops,
talk about
where I've
Samuel,
seen it,
1 Samuel
where I've seen it with my own
1:15,
eyes,
they have
yeah?
committed an act of
All right.
kufar according to their prophet.
Kufar is not even making any sense.
Yes, let me,
1
because
Samuel
your
15:9,
prophet,
reference it.
let me
Reference
give you the
1
words
Samuel
of your
15:9,
prophet.
one by one.
Your prophet,
One by one.
do you go against your
1
prophet?
Samuel
Do you go
15:9.
against your prophet?
1 Samuel 15:9.
Do you go against your prophet?
1
Do
Samuel
you go against your prophet?
15:9.
Because everyone is seeing
1
his
Samuel
prophet said,
15:9.
if a Jew tells
Go
you
for 1
something,
Samuel
do not
15:9.
deny
Let me
what
say
they
it
tell
again.
you.
In the
Right.
Bible, a general statement, and this is what it is. You know how they say we promote violence?
Yes, yes.
Now let's talk. 1 Samuel 15:9. Go smite the Amalekites wherever you find them. Spare not man,
Now,
woman,
do you have a problem with that?
infant. Do you?
I'm asking you.
I do. Do you?
Okay.
Do you?
Let me give you
do
my
you?
response.
Yes or no?
Let
Do
me
you
give
have a response?
Let me give you
Do
my
you
response.
have a problem?
You want me to respond?
Hold on. First of all,
Do you want me to respond?
First of all, you invited yourself the Quran. Can you bring the tafsir of the Quran, or shall we go to the tafsir of this biblical verse?
Do you want me to respond? You
that
see?
promotes
He
violence.
doesn't want me to respond.
That promotes murder.
When you finish your-
that promotes genocide.
He
Spare
said he has
not.
a problem with this verse.
Spare not man, woman,
All right.
infant, suckling. Do you know what suckling is?
Babies.
Small. You know baby. You know baby.
Suckling.
Spare not. Suckling. Donkeys as well. Donkeys. What did the donkey do to you? What did the donkey do
Do you
to
want a
you?
response?
Bring something in order for me to respect this intellectually.
Okay.
Because at the moment you are intellectually dishonest.
Do you want me to respond?
Before your response, do you condemn or condone this action?
Now respond. Bir bin Abdullah reports that once
goes to tafsir.
Umar bin
Talk about your
Al-Khattab
book.
read a book
Talk about your
which
book.
he had received from a Jew to the Prophet. He
Talk
got
about your
angry
book.
and said,
Talk about your
"Oh,
book.
the son of
Where's your book,
Al-Khattab,
man? Where's your
are
book,
you
man?
embarrassed
1
by the one
Samuel
in whose hand is my life?
You can't
I
do it.
brought to you
Because it's
something
about
which is
violence,
pure
books.
and
Because it's
immaculate.
not about violence.
Don't
books.
ask them
Are you
anything.
bringing
There
hadith
is a
or Quran?
possibility
I brought
that they
his,
tell you the
Bible.
truth
I
and you
brought you
refute
scripture.
it,
Bring me
or they
scripture.
tell you the
Bring me
false
scripture.
and you confirm
Bring
it
scripture.
by the one
Bring the
in
scripture.
whose hand is my
Bring the
life.
scripture.
Even
Can't
if
do it.
Musa was alive
Intellectually
today,
dishonest.
he would have followed
Do you
me.
condemn
This is in
or do you
Ahmad
condone?
ibn
Can't do it.
Hanbal, Hadith 4763.
They
So when
promote
Muslims
the
go
killing
to the Bible
of
and they
men,
reject it,
women,
their prophet has
infants,
said,
suckling.
there is a
poor
possibility
donkey.
that they tell you the truth
donkey do?
and you refute it,
I don't know.
or they tell you the false,
do
or
you
you may
promote
confirm
murder?
it. So therefore,
Blasphemy.
he has committed an act of kufar because he does not fear Allah. Because on the day of judgment, Allah is going to ask him why he denied this verse. Because even his own prophet has told him they're not supposed to deny these things. So if a Jew comes to tell them something, they don't deny it because it could be true. Neither do they accept it because it could be false. But now we see they go against their own prophet. How embarrassing.
Excellent.
They reject their own prophet, their own words.
Basically,
Do they fear
you have
Allah?
dropped the
Do you
mic
fear
and you are
Allah?
leaving right
That
now
they reject the
because
words of their own
Paperboy
prophet.
got a
How
surely
embarrassing.
can
How embarrassing.
The Muslims have crucified you.
See, he couldn't answer. Their own prophet. Can you believe this? Their own prophet they go against just to criticize the Bible. Just to criticize the Bible.
Would Jesus be happy with the torn trousers?
Why are you wearing Nike? This is an act of kufar. 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 Nike is a pagan. Nike is a pagan. And 1, 2, 3, 4. This is an act of kufar. These are disbelievers. You're wearing pagan shoes. Why are you wearing pagan shoes? Your prophet condemns you. Answer the question. Why are you wearing kufar trainers? Why Nike is a Greek goddess. Nike is a Greek goddess. That is a kufar trainer. Because if you didn't know, Nike is a yes. So why are you wearing kufar trainers?
1 Samuel 15:3.
Your trainers are your trainers and your tracksuit are dedicated to a pagan god.
Why do you wear a pink shoe? Why is your trainers red?
What is the brand name? What is the brand name?
You got a pink shoe.
What is Nike?
You want to kill babies.
It's a Greek goddess. So you're wearing clothes with a pagan goddess's name on it.
He's diverting from the question.
Nike is a pagan goddess.
How does that tell us the hadith that tells us we're not allowed to wear this? Tell us.
Your scholars have said
you want to kill babies.
This is an act of
you want to kill
kufar.
donkeys. And you wear a pink shoe.
You could be taking
1 Samuel 15:3.
Explain to me why you are rejecting the words of your prophet.
15:3.
Tell us the word.
Explain to
Are you
me.
intellectually dishonest or not?
There
Because you're
is
here
a-
talking. You're here
Don't
making a
ask
big.
them
You're here. Hold on.
There is a possibility
You are here.
they
He's
tell you the
here
truth
making a big
and you
hoo-ha
refute
about
it.
blood dripping
or-
from the Quran.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
talk about the knives in the
in
Bible.
the Bible.
Let's talk about genocide in the Bible.
Let's talk about-
child abuse
Let's
in the Bible.
talk about sending dick pics.
Shall we do that?
Let's talk about that. Would you send a picture of your private parts to a 6-year-old? Would you? I'm asking you. He has been exposed by fellow Muslims of extending indecent pictures to Muslim women.
Look at the people instead.
Why?
Because they
Can you
are.
tell us why?
Why do you think
On camera.
paid?
Why you
do
exposed by fellow
Muslims-
Muslims
slow down.
of
Why do
sending
Muslims not get
indecent
paid?
pictures
Why do
to
Muslims not
fellow
get paid?
Muslim
Do you want to
women?
pick? Do you want to pick?
Say that. You see?
Slow down.
That. Say that. Slow down. Do you want to see? Why were you sending pictures? Why are you sending pictures? He was exposed by a fellow Muslim.
Your
He was
Bible's not good enough for you.
exposed by a fellow Muslim.
What you need to do is go and ask for
You were exposed.
Can you
tell us?
Go get
Can you
higher
tell
money
us?
in your wage.
Can you tell us?
Because
Is
you're
that how
never
you do
gonna
dawah?
get. You're never gonna
Is that
get
how
what
you
you
do
want in your
dawah?
da'wah.
Is
And
that
we
how
see
you do
in your
dawah?
meetings in the
Is
shop.
that how you do
In the
dawah?
cafe.
Let's get Saracen next week.
Keep him here. 1
My friend,
Samuel,
would you send
15:3.
pictures of your private
1
parts to fellow
Samuel
Muslim women?
15:3.
Would you send
1 Samuel 15:3.
Why were you doing that?
Samuel 15:3.
Would you send
1 Samuel 15:3. 1 Samuel.
Would you
Are
send
you gay?
Would
Are
you
you
send
gay? Are you gay?
Would you
Are
suck
you
the tongue of a
gay?
young
Are you
boy?
gay?
How can
young
we
boy.
argue someone who hates the Old Testament? You hate your own Bible, you disagree with the Old
Are
Testament.
you
You bring a point up, you say, oh, that's the Old Testament. Oh no, Old Testament.
You're a
Spit on
Muslim,
the Old
but hold
Testament.
on.
You hate the Old Testament.
You hate the Old
Why do you
Testament.
We don't hate the Old
Do you
Testament.
agree with what he said?
It's not factually correct.
So the verse that he said about killing the donkey, do you agree with it or disagree with it?
Why are you wearing tight jeans with
What's
female
the
shoes?
verse? We don't
Whole trousers.
The Bible is
Because Allah gave Moses a book. How do you know? Can you prove it? Can you prove
Can you prove it's valid? We can prove it's valid. We can prove the Bible, I mean the Quran's valid. We
Show
can prove
me. Listen to what I'm saying. Allah
In the
gave
Birmingham
Moses the Torah.
Manchester
Moses
Birmingham
was given the
University.
Torah.
How old is that Quran in there? How old is that
Moses-
Quran? 1,000 years old. Exact same Quran that is today.
No.
Your Bible.
There is no
Your
exact.
Bible. Okay,
There
go
is-
Birmingham University. The
There is no. You cannot have no.
Your Bible has been changed. Every little word altered. Every little word Bible is like
Kings
have changed your Bible.
Who wants me to read the verse, the hadith where your prophet used to have semen all over his clothes and would pray in it? Can I read it?
I know it's too good.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about. Now, would you come to the park with semen on your clothes?
Tell me the hadith.
You said you know it. You know it. Now answer my question. Would you come to the park with semen on your clothes?
The point was to make that semen is not under the same category as urine. It's not that you can't pray with urine on your clothes.
Exactly.
Semen's not, it's fluid, it's water.
Did your prophet pray with semen on his clothes?
Would you say drenched in semen? What did you say? What was the word used? What was the word used?
Did your prophet pray with semen in his clothes?
Do not fall for the shaitan.
Would you pray with semen on your clothes?
If I had it on my clothes and I didn't know, then y'all love it.
If you did know,
dirty, let's say this.
I'm asking you, according to your belief,
are you from
I
urine?
would not come.
Are you from stool?
I'm asking
Are you from urine? You could go to the
I
church.
don't believe
You could go to
in
the
what
church.
you're
You go with your wife and you come straight to church. You go to your wife. You go to your wife. No.
Would you pray with semen on your clothes?
You go to your wife. You come
Would
to
you
your
pray?
church.
Would you go to the mosque with semen on your clothes?
Would you kill a baby?
Answer yes or no.
Would you kill a baby?
Would you kill a baby?
I'm asking you. Would you do it? I'm asking. Would you do it? Answer. Would you do it? Would you? You say you don't want to answer.
You go have sex with your wife. You come to church. No ghusl, no cleaning, no
Would
water.
you?
You don't even wipe your ass.
No one would
Wipe your ass.
You don't even wipe your bottoms, and you come to church and you sit on the pew.
Next question.
Next question.
Would you do ablution in water that has dead dogs, menstrual pads?
We can't even pray. We can't even pray the Quran after having sex with our wives. You have to have ablution.
So why did your
Don't
prophet
tell us
then
about
have semen on his clothes and offer prayers? If you can't do that.
Because to show it's not unclean. It's water. It's
So it's
fluid.
clean?
Yes.
So you offer prayers with semen on your clothes?
The young brothers have explained to you.
You said it's unclean, so therefore you have no problem with going to the mosque with semen on your clothes.
Okay, fine. If it's there and I don't know, then that's
if you do know, don't say if you don't know. If you do know,
show me the hadith where it shows. Show me the hadith. You've been talking about this hadith, but you haven't said the hadith. I realize that. That's smart.
you said you do it. I'll read it. All
Read
right.
the full hadith.
You said you knew it.
I'm not a scholar. I don't know the
Oh, now you're not a scholar.
I've heard the
Don't worry, I'm going to read it and you'll become a
Let's read the
scholar.
full hadith.
Shoes and
He's talking about cleanliness now.
First, you're not a scholar. Next, you're going to tell me, let's go to the Arabic.
You could also talk about cleanliness.
and pink shoes, and he wants to kill babies and donkeys. And he wears pink shoes and ripped clothes.
We're only here because we love Jesus. We love Isa.
You know he's gonna hate you. When he comes back, he's gonna hate you. He's gonna break the cross. He's gonna break the cross. He's gonna hate you. He's gonna hate you.
Allahu Akbar.
Right, come, let's go, man.
Okay, here it is.
Let's
Bukhari.
Okay, let's end
So
it.
you can see. Bukhari. Bukhari.
Yeah, read it.
Can we talk for a second? Bible or Quran?
Well, let me please with the reference and then you.
Okay, because I'm gonna bring you one. You know, you're talking about dicks and this and that. I'm gonna bring you dicks in your Bible.
No, but what?
Let's paint a picture now.
Let's
paint a picture. Yeah.
He's gonna say Old Testament. He's gonna say Old Testament. He'll be, oh, it's Old Testament. Yeah. All of a sudden he hates Old Testament. All of a sudden he's gonna say, oh, I hate the Old Testament.
Okay.
Madness.
This one,
They hate
Sahih.
Yeah.
It says a guest came and stayed with Aisha, and she ordered that he be given a yellow blanket of hers. He had a nocturnal emission on it, and he felt too shy to send it back to her when it had traces of that emission on it. So he dipped it in water and then sent it to her. Aisha said, why did he spoil the garment? It would have been sufficient for him to scrape it off with his finger. I often scraped semen from the garment of the messenger with Allah with my finger.
It's to show it's not impure. You're made from that. You're made from this semen. It's not impure. It's not impure.
Would you go to the
Yes, I would. Yes, I would. If the Prophet did that.
So you'll come to the part with semen on your...
I would. I don't think it's impure.
Astaghfirullah.
We have to have you could touch your Bible after having sex with your wife. We can't even touch your Quran after having sex with our wife.
But your Prophet...
There's a difference. There's money.
When Aisha was menstruating, he used to put the waist stick covering on and fondle her. Because he's talking about cleanliness.
You can never talk about the Quran about cleanliness when you got the Bible. You can never talk.
Let's paint a picture. Let's paint a picture. Alright, let's paint a picture. Let's paint a picture. I'm going to assume that you're a good Christian. I'm going to assume that you're a better Christian than I am a Muslim. I'm going to assume that you follow God better than I follow God. I'm going to just hypothetically now, and I don't know if you are or not, and I respect everyone's privacy regarding their personal and family life here, but let's paint a hypothetical now that you have a 9-year-old daughter. You know, what did you say Aisha was 9 or 6? What age did you mention?
Married at 6, consummated
Cool.
at 9.
You pick a number for your daughter's age. So we say 6? Let's say 6 to make it sound more hot. Yeah? More heated of a discussion.
Yes.
So a 6-year-old daughter comes to you. Let's give her a name as well. We'll call her what?
Aisha.
Should we call her Aisha? But you're a Christian, so let's not be funny, let's be real. We'll give her a name that both of us use. Or we say Maryam, you say Mary.
Yeah, Mary.
We say Maryam, you say Mary, yeah? Just so you don't think there's a pun intended, yeah? Cool, safe. So, in the Bible, Mary comes up to you. Little cute 6-year-old Mary. You know, your wife now has just sent her up to come and give her daddy a kiss goodnight and say, Daddy, can you read me a bedtime story? Because you are such a good Christian, you've raised your daughter to a standard where, may God bless her, she loves to hear the word of God. Yeah? So she says, Daddy, you say to her, what would you like me to read for you, sweetheart? She says, Daddy, I would like you to read for me the Bible. You say, okay. Where in the Bible? You just open the Bible. You say, let's see where God guides us to. So you open the Bible. This guy. I know you know. No, but let's be objective. Let's be objective here, innit? Let's paint the hypothetical. Like, it's realistic. It's realistic, all right? Look, now he's going, Hadith, Imam Bukhari, Shaitan, something. But now let's stick on this, inshallah. Because I genuinely have not had an answer in 4 years about this.
Okay.
All right, cool. So you open a Bible. And in front of you is Ezekiel 23:20. Now I'm reading from the New Living Edition, translation.
A ring from King James.
We can do either. Bro, we can go in all of them because one is hanky panky, one is hanky panky, one is jiggy jiggy. All right?
Read from King James.
Because you brought the jiggy jiggy to me today.
Read from King James.
So let's talk jiggy jiggy. You want to talk about me jiggy jiggy?
Read from
I'm going to talk about your jiggy jiggy.
Read from the King
I'll start with this and we'll go to that.
Just read from the King James.
I'll start with this and you go to that.
Just read the King James.
Because your daughter came and brought you two books. One is New Living and one is King James.
Read from the King James.
I'm reading from this. You know why he wants me to read King James?
Why?
Because you want me to read in English that is not because you accept it.
I'll read from the ESV then.
Thank you.
ESV.
Fine. All right.
Good.
Yeah, ESV.
There. She lusted after her lovers. So imagine little 6-year-old girl who wants to get to God to paradise, you know, and she loves Jesus Christ, she loves her dad, and she loves her mum. She's sitting down, she wants a bedtime story before she goes sleep. Yeah? There, she lusted after her lovers, whose genitals were like those of donkeys, and whose emission, brackets sperm, brackets spunk, brackets semen, and whose emission was like that of horses. So now let's break this down for the layman. Daddy opened the book to 6-year-old Mary. He talks there about donkey dick, donkey penis, and horse sperm. Now, if someone was now to come to tell me, do you know why I say this with no door on my language? Because this is the language of apparently God. Now, God's word is apparently for all, yeah? SubhanAllah, it's mad how the light went darker when I spoke about this dark verse, isn't it? The irony here, yeah? The irony here, yeah? So what I'm trying to say to you, yeah? If you do believe in the book that you say you defend, and I respect anyone who defends their book, but why I call you intellectually honest is because I would like to hear from you now, yeah? Wallah, I don't even know your name. I've never spoken to you before.
His name is Paperboy.
Yeah? Paperboy? Okay. Alright, cool. So Paperboy, I'm talking about the paper on 2320.
On top.
How can you justify...
Wait. So let me get some light. Similar to this.
SubhanAllah, I've been in the park for under half an hour, my voice is gone already.
No, he's just putting the light on.
No, here, give it to me. I'll put it here. Right.
Just had that 2 minutes, 2 lights. Battery, finish.
Okay,
Camera.
So how can...
Let's go.
Okay,
So
Round
how
two.
can we... look, I've spoken to many Christians here. I've learned a lot about Christianity from Christians. From my mother as well, who used to be a Christian. She was raised as a Christian. Yeah? But when I read your Bible, yeah, and I see verses like this, I ask myself, why is there so much infatuation and emphasis that the Christians will put onto the Muslims regarding hadith? when I am not even going to hadith here, or should I say prophetic stories. I'm going to the actual scripture itself.
Yeah, but your hadith is an authority.
Are you sure you want to start your rebuttal with but?
I'm saying to you,
because it will get flawed here.
I'm saying to you, you're going to the Bible, which is an authority for Christians.
Yeah.
Christians will go to the Quran and the hadith because they are both authorities for you as a Muslim.
Do you know the chain of...
So you speak about the scripture for us. Okay. We should only speak about the Quran because, again, both are authorities for you.
I'm going to agree with you on a point, but I'm going to expand on something as well for you, inshallah. The reason why I brought this up, Paperboy, you want me to refer to you as Paperboy?
Yeah.
Cool. My name is Muhammad. You can call me whatever you like. Yeah? Is because Quran, we know it's Allah's word. Yes? Hadith,
if it's Sahih.
If it's Sahih. Yes. Now, have you been able to today reference any of the hadith? And when I asked you earlier to bring the tafsir
of the
Quran, what did you do? You left the Quran and selectively went to hadith.
Yes.
So you put more emphasis on the hadith and you turn your back on our book, firstly. This is the first point. I'm bringing you, because if you were to say to me now, Paperboy, I'm going to show you what your God says.
Yes.
So there's no subjugation in regards to the opinions we have regarding which imams we follow about hadith and the chain of narration.
So are you rejecting an authentic hadith?
No, never. I would never reject
the reason why I brought it up, because if you're going to criticize the Bible, your prophet said very clearly when a book was given to Umar that you should not believe what the Jews say because they could be lying, but then you should not reject what they say because they could be telling the truth. Now, if you are attacking something in the Bible and you have no explicit confirmation in the Quran, that means you do not fear Allah. Because if Allah has told you, or the Prophet at that time, this very thing, you have no criteria to reject it. All you can say is, I believe in the Quran and the Prophets and the last hour, as you are instructed.
Could you attack hadith without attacking the Quran, or vice versa?
Can I attack the hadith
without attacking the Quran?
What do you mean? Can I attack the...
Could you place scrutiny on hadith?
Yes.
And leave the Quran at bay without your scrutiny?
Depends on what hadith I'm talking about.
Okay, depends on what hadith you're talking about. Now, depends on which hadith. If I was to... Now, I'll tell you the point why I'm getting to it, inshallah, because I'm just trying to hit a certain process in your mind here. Yeah? If I open one page of the Quran, any page of the Quran, and I see something that is questionable, if anyone here questions one verse of the Quran, are you a Muslim or a kafir?
Kafir.
Because the Quran is a collective haqq, collective knowledge that Allah has given us. Now, fine. The Bible, for you, is a collective knowledge, is it? Or not?
Yeah.
So if I open the book and I find you a verse that talks about donkey penis and horse
what is that verse talking about?
Huh?
What is that verse talking about?
Now we're going to get to the crux.
Yes.
The Bible is for all mankind, yes or no?
Not to follow, but as a reference of historical value. Because as I was saying...
Do you want to turn the light up on it?
Because the reason...
light enough now.
Because
now...
No, because
now the light has come onto Paperboy.
Because it's very clear. Because you had something
called... And this is the minute where Paperboy...
Because you had something called the Mosaic laws, which were for the Israelites. And then Christ came with a new teaching. Because if you believe that Christ didn't... Because even in your Quran it says... Christ made halal certain things that were impermissible.
Abrogation, yeah.
Right.
So I'm saying to you, abrogated?
So that's not a verse that we had to follow. It's just saying something historically. That's why I said, what is that verse about?
Would you read it to your daughter?
Would I read it to my daughter? my daughter would read the whole Bible. The Bible says, study the scripture to know yourself.
Would you comfortably, Paperboy, would you comfortably...
Yes, because my daughter would ask me, what is this verse talking about?
Hold on.
And I would tell her, it's talking about God likening Israel... Israel's relationship with idolatry to fornication, which God detests. So he's using explicit terms, but if you read the whole verse, it's talking about Israel, their relationship with idolatry, and it's comparing it to them lusting after like a horse or whatever it was.
Sorry?
Like it could You used the term.
Can I just? I just want to put my hands on my kids'
It used the term
because that's very naughty now.
Stand
away from him. He's a naughty man.
It compared Israel to a whore, lusting after
So
something.
here we have a man, and this is the first time I've met you, Paperboy. And why I say you're intellectually dishonest, I'll tell you now.
All right.
Because here is a man, okay, that has tried to justify a man who attacks. Now this is where we get to the crux.
Attacks what?
I'm gonna get to it.
Yes.
A man who attacks Islam through either hadith or Quran. Yeah? About the diplomacy of the family of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Me personally, what have I said?
Hold on, Paperboy. I'm gonna get to it.
All right. You're taking a long way.
Okay, let me get to the crux of the matter.
Thank you.
I'm standing next to a man here that has defended saying to his 6-year-old girl, speaking to his 6-year-old girl before she falls asleep about horse dick and donkey sperm.
But this is the same person who would defend to his 6-year-old a 54-year-old man sleeping. Would you let your 6-year-old daughter sleep with a 54-year-old man?
Why are you playing diversion tactics?
I'm asking you.
Why can't we?
Because I'm calling out double standards.
Why can't we do one matter?
Because I'm trying to highlight your hypocrisy.
Open the Quran.
I'm highlighting.
Open the Quran.
Now, answer the question. I answered
Say in the name of your Lord.
I answered
and open the Quran.
Second, I answered your question.
I don't want us to.
Would you let your 6-year-old sleep with a 50-year-old man?
I'm going to say to you that for me to start entertaining this, we haven't even finished. We haven't put a full stop on the first point. Why did you read about horse dick and donkey sperm to your 6-year-old daughter?
I told you.
Why?
The verse is talking about Israel's relationship with idolatry.
Is that all right?
Because it's talking about.
Is that okay?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Do you want me to finish? It's okay because. So hold on. What's worse, reading a verse about the donkey?
Why are you shy? It's your God's word. Say it.
Let me
say donkey dick and horse sperm.
Let's get this in context.
It's in your Bible.
We're comparing words.
Why are you shy about it?
What's worse, words or a 54-year-old man sleeping with a 6-year-old? Which one is worse? Because I'm saying, how can you complain?
Do you know what? Do you know what, guys? We were stuck. Thank you. Do you know, Paperboy? Look, I have to respect the fact that you're here week in, week out, and you have a certain adequate amount of knowledge regarding your religion. I do also understand.
And again, I read the hadith about what your prophet said.
I do also.
Now you're denying it, so you do not fear Allah.
Did you hear me deny
or you do not.
Did you hear me deny?
So you have a problem with that Ezekiel verse?
Don't put words in my mouth and don't take
words
from out my mouth.
Do you have a problem with that Ezekiel verse?
Yes.
Okay. So when your prophet said, when the Jews tell you something, do you not accept it or reject it? Are you going with or against what your prophet said?
You see this moment here?
Yes.
You know, all of us, even me, my ego gets the better of me.
I'm asking you.
I can F up
because
sometimes.
I'm highlighting how they go against the words of their very own prophet.
No, I've just said my ego can get the better of me. Sometimes I'm just a man, right? This is the moment now that your ego got the better of you.
No, it hasn't.
Number one. Number two, you proved yourself to be intellectually dishonest because you tried to justify. What do they call it? Bestiality. Bestiality.
Bestiality.
Is that animal?
It's not talking about. It's not literally talking about. It's a parable.
Isn't bestiality something to do with concentrating on animal?
It's called a metaphor.
Is this a metaphor?
Yes, because it's talking about Israel.
Okay, so let's go back to it. Okay, cool. I walk into the park. All right. I want to find God. All right. I go up to
and this is the same person who was sending dick pictures to fellow Muslim women.
You can't handle it. You can't handle it.
You have no. The audacity.
So now you can't handle it. You can't handle it.
The audacity. Come on. No.
He's obviously got a fascination.
I'm telling you.
With penises.
I'm telling me.
Not only penises.
This is the person that was sending penises to fellow Muslim women.
Let's go back to the Bible.
They got exposed.
Can't do it.
And we're going to edit that into this video.
I know how to deal with your type.
Yeah.
Know that?
What gun?
I know how to deal with your type.
What would you do? Wait. You can't be saying that to me. You can't be saying that to me. Right. What about you sending? Wait. Shut. Everyone shut. What about you sending your dick pics to Muslim women, bruv? Yeah. You want me to pull out? You want me to pull out? Or do you want? Say wallah. Say wallahi. Swear. Say wallahi. You never done. You want me to pull out? Say wallahi. You're a hypocrite. You're a slander.
Wallahi, you can't handle it.
I can handle it. I've said to you this.
What's the verse?
I've said
Ezekiel 23, 20.
Yes.
Memorize it.
Okay, let's
You
read
have
it.
tried to justify. You tried to justify horse dick and donkey sperm.
Okay,
Read
wait.
So before you attack the mother of Muslims,
Let me expose your
before you
nonsense.
attack the mother of the Ummah, go to your Bible that you read to your
nonsense?
6-year-old daughter.
Okay, let me tell.
Now you are intellectually dishonest. First point.
You see?
Secondly,
Who engaged in bestiality? Answer the question.
Your Bible talks
Answer the
about
question.
animal.
Who engaged in bestiality?
What's the verse? 23.
Who engaged in bestiality?
There you go. The same guy you spoke to, speak to you now. Speak to him now.
Answer my question.
Speak to him now.
Who?
Why are you lost for words? Why are you doing that? Why are you going to you and I? Let's go back to the book. Let's go back to the book, Paperboy. Let's go back to your book.
I'm asking you. Who engaged in bestiality?
So I say, I'll leave it with you lot now. What's the verse?
I'm asking you.
23:20. What's the verse?
I'm asking you.
23:20.
I'm asking you. You see he's running away.
I'm here. You know what? I'm here. So cold. So cold. I'm here.
Would
I'm
you
here
let your
until I'm gone.
6-year-old daughter sleep with a 50-year-old man? No.
So shut up.
Why not?
I don't have a daughter. I know I would.
I don't have a. You see? Do I have a daughter? But I answered this question. Right. Yeah.
Even if I did, I wouldn't.
Why not?
Answer yours, I'll answer mine.
Why not?
Answer mine, I'll answer yours. Answer mine, I'll answer yours.
Why
mine
not?
came before yours.
Why
answer
not?
mine, I'll answer yours.
I've
Take
answered
me.
this question. You see? Running away.
Is this running away? All right, let me call this a victory walk. What do you want to call it? Because I brought you Bible, you brought me. Yeah, I'm telling you about your book.
Okay.
Paperboy, go back to the paper, boy. Shall we go to the Ezekiel 23?
The Quran, where it said your prophet can have any single woman on the
That's
earth.
called diversion tactics.
No.
Answer
Because
the point.
you want to run away.
What's your name, brother?
Okay.
Hold on. Zayn, you know what I don't like? I'll tell you why
I've
he's
answered your
intellectually dishonest.
question
You know
once,
what?
twice,
He's
3
someone
times.
who comes with loaded questions to the park, which
Loaded
you do.
questions.
And you came to a, mashallah, young Muslim boy
No.
that maybe he doesn't necessarily
Exactly.
know your little entrapment. But when I brought you an entrapment verse, you started going to between my legs.
Why are you in a game?
Why were you sending
So you know
pictures to women?
What's the verse?
Why are you sending?
Ezekiel.
Look behind you.
Why?
The Satan is here. The Satan.
Why?
That's it. Ezekiel 23:20.
Why are you in the game?
Stick on that.
What? Running away?
Why are you on the game website for? Paperboy, why are you in the game website?
Paperboy.
Running away.
The Satan came next to the Paperboy.
Running away.
Say hello to Shake1.
The green Satan.
Where's he gone? Why is he running away? Anytime he come to the park, let's do. Tawheed, why are you sending? No more. Mohammed Tawheed, don't send pictures to females.
It's funny, he's got a fascination with dicks of all kind. You know why? Because it's in his Bible.
Why are you sending female? And you exposed by a fellow Muslim. You exposed by a fellow Muslim. This guy, you're gonna be on a police watch list. You're gonna be on a police watch list. You're gonna be on a police watch list.
The Satan came to aid you. The Satan came for your help.
Why don't you come here?
You have the demon.
What's the verse?
Why won't you let your 6-year-old sleep with a 50-year-old man? Why won't you let your 6-year-old sleep with a 50-year-old man? You can't answer the question. You see? Clearly, he has embarrassed himself. He's committed an act of kufar. He's gone against the words of his own prophet that said, when Jews bring you something, do not accept it because they might be lying, but do not reject it because they could be telling the truth. But then when they have no criteria to reject verses in the Bible, they're going against their prophet. They do not fear Allah. Because on the day of resurrection, when Allah says, why did you reject the verses that I gave to my prophets? What are they going to say? So clearly we see they throw under the bus their scholars, their prophet, their Quran, everything, just to make an argument. They have no leg to stand on, and when we ask the questions back, they run away. How embarrassing. And he didn't answer the question. Why was he sending pictures of his private parts to fellow Muslim women that another Muslim had to expose him about it? You see?
Okay, cool.
But he ran away.
I see.
Look, he can't talk about his Bible, he's talking about a man's private part.
And
Donkey dick in your book, Paperboy. Look at your paper, Paperboy.
Shut down.
We're talking about your book. I reckon you want an exclusive picture of me because your book has got you sexually charged.
Don't worry, man.
That is right. Because your book contains pornography in it. Ezekiel, what is the verse? Ezekiel 23, 20. Paperboy, you shouldn't be.
Is that how you give dawah?
Targeting young
Is that how you give dawah? Is that how you give dawah?
Is
that how you give dawah as well? Have you been following his
He
tactics?
has a watermelon on his phone, and he thinks
man.
Yo, why do you ban watermelon?
Yo, guys, we got Pepe here.
Why
What
do you
have to
ban
say to
watermelon?
Why are you the gay website for?
Why do you ban watermelon?
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Have sex with. Do not have sex with.
Until next time.
Alright,
Do not have sex with fruit.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Do not have sex with fruit. I know you like to get fruity.
Alright, let's go.
Fruity with fruit.
I need to
You
charge my
like to
phone
get
to
fruity with
continue.
watermelon.
You are engaging with the people of God. You're going against the Bible.
You want to get
Would you
fruity.
suck
want
the
to get
tongue of a
fruity.
young boy?
It's 2020, rent a donkey.
Would you suck the tongue of a young boy? Would you suck the tongue of a young boy? Just as your prophet did.
Shia.
Your prophet sucked the tongue of a young boy. Would you do it? That's what I thought. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
You are a Shia.
You see, who here is brave enough to say
Paperboy
they
needs
will
to go
suck
home
the tongue?
and read his daughter Ezekiel 23:20.
Bye, Paperboy. Who here with their 50-year-old man sleep with their 6-year-old daughter? You won't answer the
You know what,
question.
Paperboy? Let me shake your hand. You know why? Because there's two ways that people can go about things in the park. I made a statement. I said you were intellectually dishonest. The reason why I said that is because I anticipated you going to add homonym because you couldn't answer what I said.
I gave you an
Do you
answer.
understand?
I told you
Do
it is a
understand? Let me tell you
metaphor.
something. By the way,
You asked me You asked me a question. You see, I'm answering the question again. I said I would read it to my daughter to learn what is in the Bible. I would explain to her that it is a metaphor about Israel.
I just want to give a disclaimer. As Muslims, we become kuffar if we believe that the original Bible is not from Allah. Just to let you know.
No, that's not. Because you
teaching me about
because you
Islam.
let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Donkey Dick teaches us about Islam.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dick pic guy doesn't know his own religion.
We'll call you Donkey.
Now, dick pic guy is worse because yours is a fact. Now, this is the fact.
Did you hear that?
This is the fact.
That's the horror of your
Muslims believe.
That's the horror of Ezekiel 23.
Now let me ask you this question.
Can we go back?
Let me ask you.
I want to say that. I shook your hand. I'll tell you why I shook your hand.
Let me ask you a question.
Slow down, please.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Let me finish what I was
Wait,
saying.
no. Wait.
Let me finish what I was saying.
First, we need a criteria.
Now, let me finish what I was saying.
First, we
We
need a
established
criteria.
principle already.
Let me.
You made the
wait.
principle.
Let's have
when
a
you spoke to a young boy.
criteria. Let's have a criteria.
No. Hold
Let
on.
us have a criteria. Let us have a criteria.
Don't you hold me. I'm not finished my sentence.
Let us have a criteria.
Let me finish my sentence and go
the
to it.
Bible has real verses and corrupted
Why are you
verses?
wearing pink trainers for?
Now, what is the criteria
Would Jesus
to
be proud
determine
of your
the
pink
corrupted
trainers?
verses?
Okay,
Would he recognize you as a man?
Here's a good question.
Yes.
But before we continue,
We need a criteria.
all right, cool. But before we continue,
Rumba says
The demon is
who's got water? Has anyone got water?
The demon people.
With you.
So what
or
was the
anyone, hold
prophet
on.
that was sent to
Hold on,
the
man.
UK?
Listen, I'm trying to talk to you nice,
Okay.
and I'm telling you that every prophet messenger we believe, including Jesus, peace be upon him. Any Muslim who speaks ill of Jesus, any Muslim who speaks ill of Jesus, peace be upon him, is a kafir. They're not a Muslim. Yeah. Any Muslim who speaks ill of Musa, Sulaiman, all of the prophets and messengers, if you speak ill of them, if you deny them, you're not a Muslim, because verily, one of the pillars of Iman, one of the pillars of faith, there's 6 pillars of faith as a Muslim, 5 pillars of Islam. One of the pillars of faith, third one is to believe in the prophets and messengers.
Yes.
Then to believe in their scriptures.
Yes.
I will answer one of your questions because it's a very simple one to answer, inshallah. All right?
Yes.
And sincerely, if you are actually using it because you want the answer to this or you want to use it with the Muslims, I'm going to let you know that I know the answer for this, inshallah. Okay, cool. So earlier you said that the Quran says to go refer to the people of the book, yes? And you spoke about what do we take from the religions, because you asked me if I believe that all of the scripture was...
How do you determine the corruption and the non-corruption?
Now this is why I'm trying to tell you the principle that I was bringing. I'll tell you what it is. The principle that we bring as a Muslim is that Allah is above his creation. If you go back to the original Christians and the original Jews, if you told them La ilaha illallah, they accept it.
Can you bring me evidence of that?
My mother was like that before she became a Muslim. She was a Roman Catholic.
Okay.
I've got family who are...
There's no God but Allah.
Yeah, I've got family. My mother's sister's a Jehovah's Witness.
Do you accept La ilaha illallah?
La ilaha illallah is in... La ilaha illallah...
Do you accept La ilaha illallah?
I've spoken to him as well.
Do you accept it?
Okay,
thank you.
Okay, let me change the words for you. There's no one worthy of worship but God.
Okay.
We'll change it. We'll change it. Instead of Allah, even though the word Allah is in your book in Genesis, first chapter, it's there.
No, it's not.
It's there. Go over it and
Not
come
in
back to me,
Hebrew.
inshallah. Not in Hebrew.
Elohim.
When you lot say... Okay, let me ask you. I'm going to prove it to you. Yeah?
When you say... Let's not divert.
When you say...
But let's not divert.
No, but you already took it somewhere else.
Yeah, but
Hallelujah comes from Ya Allahu Ya, by the way.
Hallelujah comes from Yehovah.
Ya Allahu Ya.
No.
Go check it.
It's not.
Go check
Ya
it.
is short form for Yahweh. Yehovah. I know it. I can bring it up on my phone right now.
Go check it. Go research.
Shall I bring it up on the phone right now?
Don't go to Sheikh Google. Go check it.
Okay.
You know your Paperboy, so do your paperwork.
Let's just stick on topic because you clearly don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, alright, cool. Let's stick on topic, fine. The point I'm trying to make is that as Muslims, what we use to establish whether it's haqq or not haqq is if it sticks upon the principles of Tawheed, putting Allah above his creation. So for instance, if you open the Bible to me and you said, okay Muhammad, I want you to tell me and point to me which verses are true and which verses are not. I'll say, I'm sorry, I can't tell you which verses are the truth that are originally from the Bible.
Okay.
But if you pointed at some verses that contain shirk, I can tell you, wallahi, I know as a Muslim that these verses are not original. Why? Because my principle being established of Tawheed is there. Because a Muslim, and thank you for your patience, I'm nearly done, I promise you. Because a Muslim cannot be a Muslim without two pillars. And I'll tell you what they are. And a lot of Muslims, they don't know this, inshallah, let's learn this. When we make a shahada, before we accept Allah, you know like how the Christians will promote Jesus, our Lord, Jesus this, Jesus that. We do this with Allah as well, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. But before we accept Allah, we reject everything else. But in order for us to reject everything else, we must understand the differentiation between creator and evidently creation.
Okay, so 1 Samuel 15, which you keep reading.
1 Samuel 15:3.
Yeah. How that does not come under the classification of shirk. So then,
not shirk.
Exactly. So how then can you go against and say you don't believe in that verse?
I'll tell you why I don't believe in it.
Why?
Because one of Allah's names. Now I'm gonna get to it. Because Allah, from us we have 99 names. Okay. One of Allah's names is Ar-Rahman. And one of them is Ar-Rahim. We say this at least 17 times a day in our salah. At least. Yeah. Ar-Rahman means the most gracious, and Ar-Rahim means the most merciful.
So
let me explain to you. I'm getting it. I promise you I'm getting it. Thank you. So when there's a verse that says, go kill men, women, fine. Okay, I can understand the men part. If the men are like soldiers that have attacked Christianity, like if the verse was to say, go kill the invaders.
This is an act of kufar, and I'll tell you why.
Please,
because
Paperboy,
let's have a dialogue because you've been speaking a lot.
All right, let me just hit on the verse. I promise you.
Because he wouldn't say that. But what I'm trying to say to you.
Why can't I finish my verse? You're gonna kiss on something that I haven't finished.
But all I'm gonna say is this. The Lord, Islam was not given to the Jews.
I don't want to battle egos here.
It's not about egos, but
so
listen to what I'm saying.
Let's just go to the verse. Look, you love your religion. You love your religion.
Okay, but
I love my religion.
Address this in your response.
I don't love you. You don't love me.
Address this in
I don't love your Bible. You don't love my Quran. But we love our own scriptures.
Instructs us to love you. Your Quran instructs you to hate me. There's a difference.
Sorry. Oh, don't open it. I'm gonna floor you. Wallah, I'm gonna floor you now. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You can floor me afterwards.
Paperboy, don't do that.
You can floor me afterwards.
Paperboy, that's intellectually dishonest.
You can floor me afterwards.
Paperboy, I know my stuff.
Now.
My mother
address
was a
that
Christian.
afterwards.
I know my
That's
stuff.
fine.
Please.
Address it afterwards.
I don't know atheism too well.
But
I don't know other religions too well. But please don't try the funny business of Christianity with me. Don't do that. Take that back. Otherwise, I'll floor you now.
You'll floor me afterwards. But let's go point by point. Let's go point by point.
You're very spooky. You know that.
Now, my point was this: Islam was not given to Jews. So the commands that they had to follow were not. If you say Allah, because I'm saying you said. No, listen to what I'm saying.
I'm listening to what you're saying. I don't know
why.
why.
I'm not diverting.
You should be listening to me.
You said
listen
that
to me. Come on.
you don't believe Allah would give an instruction to kill women or children or donkeys or whatever.
Do you know why?
Now,
no, hold on. Do you know why? Let me conclude that point. So then
because he's the most merciful. And the most gracious.
I could have said that for myself.
But the whole point is, when the floods of Noah came, when Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, there was no mercy, there was no graciousness. They were all wiped out.
They were transgressors.
Exactly. So the point of the matter is, when
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
No fucking tell them, Sherwin, don't take no shit.
When God,
I can't. There's some people that can. I can't.
Yes. The point is, when God gives a decree to wipe something out, whether it's a flood or hailstone by Sodom and Gomorrah, because a prophet is a tool or the voice of God. So a prophet is an instrument. So if God gives someone an instruction, even if it's
utility of Allah,
exactly. So therefore, you cannot say, "Oh, you don't believe God will have a problem with wiping out life," because He's already shown it in the floods and in Sodom and Gomorrah. Because God is the author, the creator, and the finisher of life. So if He takes your life by a fly hitting your head, or a stone hitting your head, or someone being instructed to kill you by a sword, God, because death does not happen without God's permission, so it doesn't matter the method, and this is why I'm saying it's an act of kufr for you to say
act of kufr.
I'm
just helping you when you're a few other Muslims.
Especially when I read the hadith.
I'm going to help them to refute you.
When I read the hadith about your prophet saying don't deny or reject, and going on to the Samuel thing, it's a case of Muslims, Jews, and it's not me going on a tangent, were not given Islam. They were given the Mosaic laws, their own instructions at that time.
Why was there an order to smite the Amalekites?
Yes. Yeah,
and by the way, I firmly believe, just like any human who's sensible enough.
Let me finish my point.
Why should you finish your point when I didn't finish mine?
All I'm going to say
now you're talking to. Now I'm taking over. Sorry.
No, all I'm going to say is.
So basically, no, not all you're going to say. Now you're trolling. Now you're trolling.
That is a very simple point to understand. That's it. Yeah.
Good.
Now look, we should cancel troll on the
We believe that Allah is the most merciful.
Okay.
God is the most merciful. Fine. So where is the mercy in a God that says He orders through the prophets, as you said, the utilities, He orders to kill not only the men, but the women. Yeah. Children. Suckling. And then the donkey sperm that's in your butt. He kills the donkey as well. That made the sperm.
So where was the mercy during the flood and Sodom and Gomorrah?
Slow down. I'm going to come with you. Firstly, the parables that are in our books and our scriptures were there for our understanding. Why? Because Allah, our Lord, is so merciful to us that He's actually made these things happen in history for us to take heed. Yes? Our brains only have a certain amount.
So are you saying there wasn't?
Listen, I will walk away. You can say I'm running away.
I'm just trying to understand what you're saying.
You have to stop.
I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
So don't go off on a tangent.
No, I'm trying to say.
Ask me in a few words and let me get back.
That's what I'm going to do. So I'm saying, are you saying during the time of the flood and Sodom and Gomorrah, there was no mercy because for people to see later on the consequences of going against God? Is that what you're saying?
No. I can go through the whole story of Sodom and Gomorrah for you. I don't think I'm going to do it justice right now because I got a brother who's hungry. I actually came here to eat. Wallahi, the only reason why I approached you because you turned to another guy.
Yeah, but I asked you a simple question. I asked a simple question.
Do you think there was not
I asked a simple question. Exactly.
One at a time.
He's asking what I said. Where was the mercy?
One at a time. One at a time. You or him? Listen. I've spoken to you. And you left in a very, very upset state. Maybe you've come back to me for round 2. I know you don't remember, but your brain has
just close on the mercy.
Let's close on one thing.
No, on the mercy. Answer that.
I think
answer the mercy bit.
Hold on. I'll get to the mercy for you, inshallah. Allah is the most merciful. Yes. No one
during Sodom and Gomorrah and the flood.
Hold on.
Please be specific.
From the creation of the universe till Yawm al-Qiyamah, till the day of judgment, Allah is the most merciful. And how will He show us this? Allah will not even allow the Prophet into paradise except by His mercy.
Can you tell me, show me where? You see, he's not answering the question.
Hold on.
I said, where was the mercy during the flood and Sodom and Gomorrah?
Let me talk about your prophets.
Don't tell me about Resurrection Day. Don't talk about
You want me to open the whole story of Sodom and Gomorrah?
I'm saying
Do you
to
know
you,
what's prophet was
according,
about?
I'm,
Do you know the
according to the
prophet-
Quran, where was the mercy
watch
during the
this.
flood
All right,
and
watch
Sodom
this.
and Gomorrah? That's all I want to answer.
In order for me to give you a satisfactory answer regarding Sodom and Gomorrah, I need to open up more than just one point. I need to open up. You see. You don't know what I'm gonna say.
Okay, open.
You don't know what I'm gonna say, Paperboy. Yeah.
Carry on.
First, I'm gonna have to mention Ibrahim alayhi salam. He's got a relevance in this story. His family member Lot alayhi salam. I'm gonna have to speak to you about Jibril alayhi salam. I'm gonna have to speak to you about Mikael alayhi salam. I'm gonna have to speak to you about Israfil alayhi salam. I'm gonna have to speak to you about the children of Lot alayhi salam, including their daughters, including his wife. I'm gonna have to speak to you about the ones Allah Ta'ala saved and the ones He destroyed. I need to go through it all, bro. I told you.
Alright, so there's no answer.
You're going to. Let's be realistic here, yeah?
What happened to babies? We know about Lot and his wife and daughters.
Ezekiel
what happened to
23:20.
babies and donkeys?
You talk to me like that, Ezekiel 23:20.
Because
Don't do that.
you're saying you had no
donkeys in the
problem
town.
with the young children and the women that were destroyed during the flood and Sodom and Gomorrah.
Watch this. You know, watch this. Oh, check this out, yeah? You know, you just said something, Shake, yeah? Check this out now, yeah? Check this out.
Can you answer?
We know what happened to them.
Check this out.
Check this out.
the point.
Check this
You
out.
said you got a
I'm getting
point.
to your point.
All right.
Now, you're not going to be able to get with this. Are you all right? Okay. Yeah, good. You know what the mercy is from Allah that they don't have? Check this out. You see what he just said about Sodom and Gomorrah and everything, and you're going to try and justify the Amalekites and whatever.
Don't divert. Just stick to the
Let's
Quran.
stick to it. You know what the laws of jihad are? The laws of jihad, when you go out, hold on, no. Look at the mercy of Allah.
You see?
Look
He's talking about jihad now. I asked you about the time of Moses. You see? I said Islam was not given. No, you're being intellectually dishonest. I said to you,
as hard as you want.
you know why you're being intellectually dishonest? Because you're going to say, during jihad, no, you see? They can't answer the question. Because what he's going to say is that.
I'm going to say it anyway.
You see?
Forbids in jihad.
Alright, I asked him, tell me about the time of Moses. Tell me about the time of Noah. Diversion. You see, so right. Embarrassing yourself. I told you Islam was not given to Moses. I told you.
Why did Allah?
Embarrassing.
You know what?
Embarrassing.
If you like, it's alright. All that
You've embarrassed yourself.
If you like,
yes,
we can come prepared. We can talk about.
So you're saying you are not prepared? All I wanted was a simple
When I say
answer.
we, it's for you not to feel bad.
I'm feeling bad for you. I asked you a simple question. Where was the mercy during the time of Noah and Sodom and Gomorrah? You went to jihad.
Why did you go to that?
That's why I said,
you couldn't answer principle.
Because I said to you,
you couldn't answer principle.
Because I said to you, Allah is the same God of Moses. It's the same God.
Let's be real. Let's be real.
It's the same God of Moses and Noah. And wait, let me finish my point. I said to you, Islam was not given to the Jews. They had different rulings. So you have to then show me the mercy of Allah during the time of the floods and Sodom and Gomorrah. Don't tell me about jihad. Let's, for argument's sake, say Allah is merciful in jihad. That's not my argument. That's a straw man. I'm saying during that time of those prophets, what was the rulings of Allah to them? Because if you have a problem with 1 Samuel 15, we then have to look at how Allah was acting during those times, not with Muslims. Let's say, for argument's sake, Allah has said don't kill children, don't kill women during jihad. But those rulings weren't given to Moses. So we have to look at what was the rulings given to Moses.
I'm going to let you finish so you don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me.
Alright. But if you stay on topic, don't mention Islam, but stick to that time.
You're not my dad, don't interrupt me when I talk. I've let you finish.
Yeah, that's fine.
So don't interrupt me when I talk.
That's fine.
Unless you're finished. If you're not finished, talk.
I'm going to wrap up. Please don't overtalk me.
I won't.
Okay.
I won't.
So you're overtalking me now. Alright, so I'm saying, I'm going to throw the question back to you. But please stick not to anything that Muhammad has said applying to the Muslims or Islam. I'm saying please refer to the times of Noah and the times of Sodom and Gomorrah.
One last time.
What happened to the mercy for the women and the children and all the animals?
Okay.
So
and the donkeys.
Okay. Now, inshallah, I'm going to give my finishing statement.
Yes.
Yeah. Firstly, I'm not going to open more questions. And the reason why that is because we didn't even accept what we said we would do first. Before we asked each other questions, is to establish principles. The principle that I established already, you did not establish. Furthermore, you didn't even establish a principle upon yourself, where I did. Now, I will put a disclaimer here. I do solemnly believe, that even if supposing I outwitted you in your own scripture, which I feel I did today, but even if it wasn't the case, or it was the case, it doesn't change the scripture that came back that we're speaking about, because you and I, have been here a lot less time than the scriptures have been here, and that people before you and I have been speaking about the scriptures. So I would never ever go to judge the scripture based upon you. All that I can do is speak about the scripture itself, but my disclaimer that I put down there, Paperboy, I said every Muslim must believe in all of the prophets that came before Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and including the books. With the disclaimer.
The book says Jesus is the Son of God.
Gotcha!
In school, did they tell you that you'll get the answer if you listen? You have 2 ears. You have 2 ears. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them by their number.
No.
Christians and Muslims get along.
Alright, go on.
I can't take you serious.
Why are you judging me on my face? You're just as bad.
If you are not consistent,
Yeah, do your
I'm racist against face.
Make your conclusion, then we can judge.
Jesus is the Son of God.
So what I would say, I agree with you. We must establish principles. The reason why I went on to speak about the Amalekites is ironic, because when it comes to mercy about Allah, if I was to play your tactics, I will be coming back to the Bible. I can't. I don't have the ability. I know a lot of you don't do. I can't.
Right, do it up there.
We could speak about Jesus and the Canaanite woman. We could speak about the Amalekites.
Can we stick to the top? I asked you specifically.
I'm not going on to them.
Stick to Sodom and Gomorrah. Alright, let's just conclude, because you're not answering my question. No, let's just wrap up. Let's wrap up, because you didn't ask. I asked.
Let me finish my sentence. Let me finish my sentence. Because it seems like we're not going to get to.
Yeah, we'll wrap up.
Someone wants to ask you a question.
I feel like you're going to possess me.
I'm
right
not saying
now.
it's one of my
genocide.
When you answer the question, could you just tell me your religion?
Yeah.
When you answer.
Can I get?
Which answer?
Can I get? Hold on. Yeah. Can I get 2 chicken burgers, 2 large fries? Thank you. Straight to Hyde Park, because I'm losing my voice. Thanks a lot.
I have a friend.
Can you answer
I'm sure we can wrap up on time.
Yeah, but you we can. We can wrap up. Did Mo Tawheed answer my question?
No.
Thank you.
One thing I will say, it is a flaw in itself to try and justify the verses that I gave you, because you're justifying something that you would never speak to your daughter about. You don't look like a bad person to me, but Allah knows best, innit? Yeah, God knows best. Yeah, I know that you're. Sometimes when I first came to the park, and by the way, our debate's gonna now finish. Yeah, when I first came here, someone put a question on me. It was a Christian missionary. Yeah, and he goes to me, "Do you believe your God is the all-powerful and the all-able?" I said yes. He said, okay, and ironically, he's asking me this question. It should be coming from an atheist, but I think he just found like fresh meat to play with, because he probably knew I never knew my stuff at the time. And he goes to me, all right, cool. So Allah's all able. Is there anything Allah can't do? I said, no, can't doesn't exist with Allah. He said, all right, cool. He said, can Allah create a stone, a rock he can't lift? Now, I went home really upset that day. I didn't want to come back. Yeah, I thought, I'm not doing any favors to the verses that I'm trying to defend here, which is in the Quran. And then I thought to myself, subhanAllah, there are many ways that we can angle things. But if we speak objectively and honestly, intellectually honestly with ourselves about a certain text, decipher it, break it down, derive from it the correct connotations. But we have to base it upon what? Is it our own logic? No. We have to base it upon some sort of commonality in principle, which you and I haven't been able to do today. That's why my voice is gone, your voice is gone. Yeah, we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle over here as well. I don't know what's going on right now, yeah? It's all mad. We've gone to ad hominems, we've gone to all sorts of things.
I didn't go to ad hominems.
You did.
I asked you a specific question.
I'm thicker skinned than that.
I asked you a specific question to answer me about the mercy in the flood and Sodom and Gomorrah, and you failed to answer it adequately.
I think, Paperboy, I think you and I know that both of us can have a good conversation. I believe that you and I can possibly have a very good conversation. But
if you answer my questions and come prepared next week.
But I actually didn't want to come to talk. I came to eat, and look, now they're waiting for me.
Okay.
And I was outside waiting for them.
Yeah, we can wrap
I was in the car waiting for them. I was like, come on, man. Well, I don't know if it's free parking here.
Because then
I came in, they're waiting for me.
And I also gave you the hadith from your prophet.
That's why I had to make an order on the phone with
He said you shouldn't believe or disbelieve. All you're supposed to say as a Muslim is we believe in the Quran, we believe in one God, and the prophets that sent him. So when you actually attack the Bible and say, I don't believe God will say this or that, you're actually going against your own belief, because we can bring hadiths where your prophet says you shouldn't do those sort sort of thing. Even when Umar was reading the Quran and the Torah, Muhammad took it from him and said, "You're not. Why are you reading it?" So all these Muslims reading the Torah and the Bible to attack it, then you're not following the Sahaba.
The way of giving da'wah, unfortunately, not a lot of people do. Yeah? The way to give da'wah is to call away from one thing and to call towards something else. To call away from false gods,
yes, and to talk about one God, yeah,
and to call towards Allah. Unfortunately, Speaker's Corner now has become a place that is people's, not only is people's claim to fame. Agents have been put here. You and I both know that. Spies have been put here. Everyone knows.
There's terrorists here. We know that.
All right, then we have to define a terrorist. But there's terrorists in
Convicted
every
terrorists.
There's terrorists in every group.
Convicted.
So there's terrorists that are not found as well. Are you saying that?
I'm just saying there's
terrorists
convicted.
in every group, right?
Let's not forget the convicted terrorists.
Let's not go into it. Let's not go into it. What I'm saying.
What's Bob could be?
So,
yeah, but on this, let's wrap up anyway. Yeah.
Right, so all I'm saying, I believe that a constructive conversation, is between with objectives and with principles established. These two fences are the parameters in which we speak without interlocutor. When I came, I had someone bringing Bible to you. You were bringing Quran. You were bringing Quran and Hadith to them. You're never going to get to an accomplishment. All you're going to do is get hits on a YouTube video, and no one's really like much. There has to be an objective, and there has to be principles established. So when you try to reach that objective, if you metaphorically pull me back, I can land on my principle again and say, all right, let me start again. Unfortunately, in the park now, it's a lot more than that. A lot of ego gets involved. I get involved with ego as well sometimes. Sometimes I think someone's trying to chuck it with me, so then I try, my ego comes forward and the da'wah sets backwards. And we're all men. All of us can get involved in something like that. All of us.
Tweedledum's looking hungry. Look at that belly.
You're not answering.
You're hungry as well. I'm sure you're hungry as well. All of us are hungry.
Website.
You need.
All right, cool. Right, that's it.
You need Ramadan 300 years.
Why'd you turn to me?
That's a wrap now.
Why'd you turn to me just now? Alright,
let's wrap up.
if you want to speak to me again,
Mad Dunya,
if there's a time, God permits us to speak again. Let's have two things established first.
Next week we'll have a quick criteria.
Let's have objectives.
Your boot cut jeans.
Let's have objectives.
Look at you, skin tight.
Why are you not answering where all the
Exactly.
Why are you not answering?
What language are you speaking? I don't understand.
Next week,
Say,
I want you to research the mercy of Allah. I want you to research
Can you speak English?
Mr. Two God. Leave it out. You want to go and eat what you
don't understand.
Anyway, let's wrap up.
Anyway, just to conclude, just to conclude, inshallah, yeah. Just to conclude.
Where was the mercy and grace? Give your answer. If you don't have an answer, just be honest.
Just to conclude. Alright, come stand with me if it makes you feel better. Just to conclude, inshallah.
Yeah.
Anytime a discussion goes on, there has to be objectives and there has to be principles established. I know you agree with me, yeah? So if we're going to have a discussion again, inshallah, let's do it upon objectives and principles. If you start talking about me or I start talking about you, we're not doing any justice at all to our religions. All we can extrapolate is the text in the book. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Should we leave it on that?
Until next week.
Until next time I'm here, inshallah.
Until next time.
Whenever I'm
And
here,
then you can answer my question.
Can I have a discussion with you? Alright, I'm going to start a discussion with him right now, yeah?
No, that's fine.
I'm going to start a discussion with you right now. I'm going to start
No,
it's fine. You've got enough battery. I'm going to start a discussion with you right
He
now.
wants an answer to my question.
What's the most important thing for you right now?
Giving your answer.
I'm going to
Exactly.
Shall I give you my answer? Yeah. Food. I'm going to eat. Take care, yeah?
Bye-bye. Next, please. Next, please.
See,
Clearly,
it was about exposing and unwrapping the Islamic polemic against the Bible. But then even the Prophet has clearly said, I keep reading. Just Tweedledee. Tweedledee.
You're not going to have the last one.
Hey,
Mr. Matty Boy.
the immigrations are looking for you.
You got Hadouken.
Now, clearly we see this person's deen has failed him. His deen has failed him.
All right, cool.
Your food is waiting. Go and get your shawarma. Run. Now,
All right, go.
we clearly see the hypocrisy of their arguments. First, he tried to go to Ezekiel, and I tried to tell him it's actually a metaphorical verse. But then he tried to pretend that he didn't hear my answer. I didn't give an answer. I gave it many, many times. Yeah. And then what they try and do is attack verses in the Bible and say 1 Samuel or Ezekiel. But even as Muslims, they're not supposed. One, they have no criteria of determining what is corrupted or uncorrupted. Fair enough, if there's something in the Quran which goes against the Bible, they might say we take the Quran. But the Quran doesn't mention 1 Samuel 15 or Ezekiel. Neither did the Sahaba, nor did the Prophet. The Quran doesn't say, I did not say this verse. But so clearly we have to see with the Islamic argument is that they cherry pick. And then that's why I asked him, and I specifically started by saying, don't tell me about what Islam says, but tell me what Allah told Moses and Noah and all the prophets in the Old Testament. What were the instructions for them? Then he tried to go to jihad. And this clearly highlights that they do not have a leg to stand on. Firstly, how can you build your religion on, how can you build your faith on a religion that rejects the Old Testament and the Gospels? It's rejecting Jewish history. So it's just like a pick and mix religion. It's not based on any foundation. And this is why when we ask them these questions, they're rejecting things that are clearly have been established for many years. And even the Sahaba, Prophet Muhammad, none of them had any issue with all these verses. He couldn't even tell me about the mercy during the floods or Sodom and Gomorrah, but yet he'll say, the women and children were killed. But we asked him many times, so where was the mercy from Allah? He couldn't answer it. And again, this is why we expose the Islamic argument, and it's very basic. And, people just need to become a bit more learned, because when you apply the same arguments to Islam that they try and apply to the Bible or Christianity, Islam falls flat. And that's why he couldn't even answer those basic questions. And if you watch from the whole discussion, he couldn't answer my questions. He kept diverting, sophistry, waffling about nothing. I asked him to prove how he distinguished between corruption and non-corruption in the Bible. He said, let's start with, you believe God is above all creation. That's not answering my question. Nothing. So clearly we see,
but he does order a mean chicken and chips.
Well, that's it. And this is the same Muhammad Tawheed that was sending pictures of his appendage to innocent Muslim women. And to have a cheek to talk about.
He would never say what happened to babies and donkeys in the town of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Nothing.
The time of Noah's flood.
Exposing the hypocrisy.
Why they keep saying,
Thank you,
Allah is
family.
most gracious and